Yes. Yeah, I am. I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Evil is not something that can be understood, measured, or comprehended. It is not a disease to be cured or a blemish that can be scrubbed clean. True evil, pure, unapologetic evil, is something that exists only when all semblance of innocence and good have been abandoned. Evil takes many forms, but it is always recognizable. Evil is cold, deprived of any form of warmth. Like a moth, the evil seeks that which is warm. It seeks good, the soft, the compassionate. It tries to find its opposite, seeking that which it cannot be. And then upon finding this warmth, it strangles it. It crushes it and consumes it. It devours it until the only warmth it knows is the warmth of blood. This is evil. This is the true nature of wickedness. This is Michael Myers. Welcome, my friends, back to the fog, a realm of fear, pain, and damnation, a twisted plane of existence where a twisted entity plays games of death with frightened and desperate survivors, where blood is the currency and carnage is the prize, where monsters and fiends stalk the dark corners to bring misery and fear on bloodstained grounds. There are many dark forces that prowl this realm, some more malicious than others. Some kill out of revenge, some out of a longing for understanding, some because it satisfies urges or cravings, some because it is what they're ordered to do. But for one, it is because he has no other course of action. No other thought drives him. Like food to the famished, he hungers for the chance to slay innocence, yearns for a knife in hand to cut open the throat of his prey. He is no man, though he wears its shape, hence his horrid name. Hidden behind a mask, Michael Myers is one of the most iconic killers in horror, and he has entered the fog very willingly. On Halloween night 1963 in the quiet town of Haddonfield, Illinois, Michael Myers was just a boy when he felt the urge to butcher his older sister with a carving knife. Shocked and appalled by his actions, the authorities tried to put him in a mental hospital to fix him, to maybe save him. And there he met Dr. Sam Loomis, who spent years trying to understand Michael, to try to reach him, maybe to help him. But over time, the boy revealed there was no saving him, no helping him, no understanding. He was cold and empty. Loomis had met many psychopaths, many of them violent, but they all had a twisted rationale, some kind of driving force, either petty or noble. But for Michael, the drive was instinctive, internal, even natural. Michael just desired to kill. But not only kill, per se, but to snuff out. He was no man, and dared not show his face to the world, for there is no humanity in Myers. Loomis recognized the monster within Michael, and did all he could to lock him up. However, on October 30th, 1978, Michael Myers escaped. Upon his escape, he returned to Haddonfield and targeted a girl named Laurie Strode, the young teenager who somehow reminded him of his sister, a joyous, friendly spirit who felt warm. Too warm. Agonizingly warm. She would need to die. Make her cold. Loomis and the sheriff, panicked, began searching for Michael until Loomis catches up to him, struggling to kill Laurie. He shoots Michael several times, only for Michael to recover and escape into the night once again. He later pursues Lori, still, and is later made clear to them both that Lori is actually Michael's sister, hence why he feels an attachment to her that he must sever. In a final showdown in a hospital, Michael finally appears to have been killed. Or at least that would have been the case if you didn't know anything about merchandising. Yes, of course Michael didn't die, not while there are tons of sequels to make and a whole realm of killing to let him romp around. Now, I should be clear, I was never a huge fan of Halloween. Though I respected it for its excellent cinematography, likable characters, and amazing soundtrack, Michael himself never appealed to me that much, though. When I was a teenager and saw it for the first time, I had also recently seen The Predator, Alien, and The Exorcist. Some guy in a mask really didn't scare me all that much compared to those. But as I became older and more wise about the nature of evil and sinister slasher films, I came to realize what makes Michael stand out so much. It's a simplistic design, yes, but Michael embodies an aspect of horror that many people tend to overlook. Pure evil. With The Predator, they're doing it for sport. It's all a game to them. For Alien, it's a means of survival. You kill someone else and turn them into a means to create more offspring. And with The Exorcist, the devil's going to do what the devil does. But Michael can never seem to stay down. Every time you seemingly kill him, he gets back up again, zombie-like. He doesn't speak, save for his haunted breathing. He's imposing, but not in a monstrous way. More a way that speaks to the soul, and yet he's not a demon, nor is he possessed. His stare is unnerving. It tells you that there is a desire to murder behind his mask. Not because of anything you did to him or to others necessarily, not out of revenge or petty fetishism like Jason or Freddy, but instead because it's all he understands. The only thing he understands. There's no tragic backstory, no horrid incident that turned him into a monster, no sad or abusive relationships. He's just evil. Pure, unapologetic evil. And evil that cannot be rationalized or explained is the most terrifying of all. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the record straight here about Michael in Dead by Daylight. I don't like playing him. Simply because I do not enjoy his perks. I think most of them I either don't understand them or I can't use them properly, and his power, while useful, can be very difficult to pull off against really well-skilled players. Michael in-game is considered by many one of the weaker killers, but he used to be hailed as one of the deadliest. His power is called Evil Within. By holding down the power button while within eyesight of a survivor, you will gradually build up tiers of Evil Within. You start the trial at stage 1, and while in the stage, Michael moves slower and has reduced lunge, but can vault at a normal speed. He has the undetectable status effect as well, so that people can't notice him as easily. Now, if you work your way up to stage 2 through your stalking, you gain a terror radius of 16 meters, your speed and lunge attack return to normal, but your vault speed takes a slight nerf. And finally, if you can reach stage 3, all survivors will suffer from the exposed status effect and can be downed in one strike. Your terror radius will increase to a normal amount, gain a large lunge capability, and suffer greatly at vaulting, all at the same time. The stage 3 only lasts a certain amount of time though before regressing you back to stage 2. Unless you have the right perks to make it last longer or keep it indefinitely. It's a nifty power, very useful in the right hands, but I admit I'm very bad with it unless I have the right add-ons. Now, Michael Myers' 3 unique perks are also interesting, but like I said, I can't seem to figure out how they work properly. I don't want to say they're good per se, at least not when I use them, but we'll discuss that. Michael's perks are Save the Best for Last, Play with Your Food, and Dying Light. With Save the Best for Last, you are obsessed with one survivor, and anytime you perform a basic attack on any other survivor, you gain a token. For each token you gain a reduction in successful attack cooldown time, but hitting your obsession causes you to lose tokens. If you sacrifice your obsession, then you can neither gain or lose any more tokens for the rest of the trial. And I really just don't care about this perk. I mean, I guess there's kind of a meme to it, but I never felt any difference while using it. Play with Your Food also involves the obsession. Each time you chase your obsession but then let them get away, the perk gains a token. Each token provides a stackable haste status effect increase of up to about 15% at maximum, and for each performed attack, you will remove a token. This one's a little better, I suppose, but still, I have very little success with it myself and barely notice a difference. Dying Light, though, I can find that one a bit more useful. For each survivor you hook that is not the obsession, you gain a token of up to 11 tokens. For each token, the non-obsessions suffer from a repair and sabotage speed reduction of a maximum of 33%. The obsession, though, is given a slight buff to their action speeds. Now, all of Michael's perks seem to revolve around keeping the obsession alive at the very end. It's kind of like a slow burn, taking your time and singling out other players. But that fits with who he is and what he's about. A cold and calculating killer, an evil that the entity can take great pride in. A monster from the very depths of hell, and even its demons would hesitate to let walk back in. Michael Myers is no man. He is the very definition of evil. And with that, we have now discussed both of the Halloween chapter characters, Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, or as he's called, The Shape. I'm going to be honest, this one was a little tricky for me because I haven't watched any others than the first and second Halloween movies, and they're just not my cup of tea. They're not my absolute favorites. I respect them for what they are, but I prefer other horror movies personally. Still, this one was very interesting, and I enjoyed reading more into Michael's character because I really didn't think much of it at first. I'm not a big fan of him in Dead by Daylight, I'll admit, and Laurie Strode I'm even less of a fan of because the way it feels for me is that with Laurie Strode, when you play her, it's like you're just asking to be killed because you have a much higher chance of being the obsession with her, and even though you have a means to fight off the killer, there's not a lot else in her perks stats that I really think help her. And with Michael, his is just buying time until he gets the obsession last. And for someone that's pretty bad at the game like me, I can't afford to play that way. I can't afford to say, okay, I'll let you live so I can go after someone else. No, I gotta go after who's in front of me, So that can make things pretty difficult. But still, this one was a fun one. And I need to think about how I'll approach the next survivor. Who is it? Oh, you'll see. Until then, though, I'll see you next time in the fog. Take care.